The safety, honor and welfare of your country comes first. Your own ease and comfort will come last.
You are charged with Indian Army Act Section 41, waging war against the king.
Fire! रात दिन अपने सीने विच वजदी आजादी दे राग नूं बंद कर ला। सब तो पहला मैं हिंदुस्तानी हाँ।
Hello and a warm welcome to another edition of To The Point. Dalit politics is going through a major churning in the country. And as the nation heads towards a Dalit versus Dalit presidential contest, there are a number of questions to be answered on the future of Dalit politics. On the show, a very special guest, K Raju, who is heading the SC cell of AICC. He's been a former bureaucrat and has also been a part of the National Advisory Council. Welcome, sir, on To The Point. To begin with you, we're seeing a new phenomena completely when it comes to the Dalit politics, that the Dalit leaders are regrouping themselves, the communities are reorganizing themselves, and there was a time when we used to see lone one-off clashes, but now we see a complete transformation into a completely reorganized resistance movements kind of a thing. So are we seeing a new brand of Dalit politics altogether?
I think what is seen today is something that is welcome from the perspectives of Dalits. Instead of just taking what is coming to them, here are Dalit groups trying to assert their rights, trying to question, trying to articulate their aspirations. So that way, what is today's scene is a healthy sign, and it augurs well for the community as a whole to take control of their lives than blindly depending on others. So as a Dalit leader, I am quite happy about the kind of assertion that is happening. Even if part of it is happening outside the Congress fold, even then I am happy, because that's how the communities really grow and become independent and really empower themselves. Because I believe in one principle, that nobody can empower a community, that community itself should empower itself. So that way, Dalits of today are clearly showing that they want to take control of their lives. They know that it is only they who have to empower themselves. That's how you find them coming onto the streets. That's how we find them raising questions. That's how we find them articulating their new demands to become equal to the rest of the world. I think the biggest concern that the Dalits are faced with is the kind of inequities they see in the society, and the kind of gaps that are there in various developmental parameters when compared to scheduled tribes with the rest of the society. So Dalits are pointing out that these are the gaps, these are the inequities. So we deserve a better deal.
Right. But Mr. Raju, there was a time when despite the undercurrents of some kind of resentment or rebellion within the Dalits, we never saw the Dalits standing up to the authorities of the upper castes. But now the case has completely changed. So do you find a generational shift in what the Dalit leaders of the yesteryears were, and now how the Dalit leaders are taking the politics forward?
I think what is seen also is an account of many years of effort that Congress party at the center in various states have put in empowering the Dalits, in investing in their education, in expanding their mobility. So all these things have put together, created a new generation of Dalits who would like to really raise their voice, which is also welcome, which is a result of Congress party's relentless commitment to empower the Dalits over many decades.
Mr. Raju, Bhim Army is a very recent phenomena, which is just about 2 years old. How do you see leaders like Chandrasekhar? Do you see them as an offshoot of some kind of a resentment against the so-called Dalit parties?
I think Bhim Army, or for that matter, many such organizations clearly are offshoots of building resentment among the Dalits against various kinds of subjugation that they are subjected to. It is not just Bhim Army of the present period. There were many such organizations that have come up in the past also. So all these things clearly reflect that there is something seriously wrong in the society. Certain sections of the society who are weak or oppressed, and there are some youngsters who are not prepared to take it any longer. They are grouping together, they are getting mobilized, they are raising the voice. This is what is the case with Bhim Army. This was the case with many other similar organizations that have come up to the scene in the past also.
But what is most admirable to me was that outfits like Bhim Army, or for that matter Jignesh Mewani's organization, which is working extensively in Gujarat, without the political backing, we've seen them holding extensive rallies, up to the tune of like population of say about 10,000 or even more than that. How are they making themselves different from the leaders or from the parties who say that we are quote unquote the Dalit parties? How do you find them different?
I think these new outfits who have been able to mobilize a large number of people to protest, of course, primarily on account of the power of social media. They were able to reach large number of educated youth and then get them assembled at one point, which was not there in the past. Though the cause was very solid, though the leaders were solid, the technology was just not available for them to organize the people. Today that is available, and then thankfully they have accessed the technology and able to mobilize and show the strength. Now I don't think that they were able to clearly show how they are different from Dalit parties. All these events are reaction to certain atrocities that have taken place. Whereas when it comes to a Dalit party which has fought elections, which have come to power, their challenges are totally different. They should really look at what is the policy. They have to put in place a policy paradigm which will secure to the Dalits social, economic and political empowerment. So their agenda is much more challenging than these kind of outfits. Though they are desirable, though they are welcome, it is for a limited purpose, to protest a particular issue, to show their strength, to question. It serves only that purpose. So coming together of these kind of outfits do not make the regular Dalit parties, or do not make parties like Congress party, which is committed to Dalit cause, redundant. They still have a place in the Indian politics. They continue to have place, but only thing is their responsibility towards Dalits perhaps has gone up, because they have to deal with a new section of Dalits who are not able to take things as they are questioning.
How is Congress currently surviving as far as the Dalit movement or the Dalit outreach programs are concerned? Because there was a time when the prime days of Congress, we saw that Ambedkar of course was the shaper and the maker of Dalit politics, and the Dalit community formed the major chunk of the Congress vote bank, but that seems to have completely drifted away somewhere. So how is Congress thinking of surviving in current times?
I think Congress party's engagement with Dalit issues is as old as the party itself.
Right.
Even during the freedom struggle, it was a Congress party which very strongly espoused the cause of Dalits. They fought against untouchability. They also have recognized that they need to be provided a different kind of a dispensation so that they can come up. That's how it was a Congress party which found Baba Saheb Ambedkar as the right person to make constitution for India, and in collaboration with Baba Saheb Ambedkar, Congress party has come up with this constitution which provided reservations, which provided various constitutional guarantees for the development of Dalits. So that way Congress party's engagement with Dalits is many decades old. Even today also Congress party is fully alive to the changing aspirations of the Dalits. So the party is very clear that it has to invest great deal of effort and energies to promote Dalit leaders across the country, starting from the village level, block level, district level, state level. Congress party also is very clear that it has to give voice to the Dalits within the party by securing better representation to Dalits within the Congress party.
So am I in a position to ask you that is Congress going back to the old mantra of survival, that is totally banking on the tribals, the Dalits, because that was the core vote bank of Congress earlier. So is Congress going back to the drawing board?
Yes, Congress party has very clearly put in place a plan so that it is able to get all the Dalits, Adivasis back into the fold by making them understand that here is a party which has always worked for their empowerment, by making them believe that it is only the Congress party which is committed to their development. So party is very clear that we must come what may get these communities back into our fold, not by making false promises but by repositioning ourselves vis-a-vis Dalits, by being more empathetic to them, by promoting their leaders, by strengthening their voice within the party. We would like to fully get them back to the Congress fold.
But is it not going to be a very big challenge for Congress to reach out to the Dalits, because the times are such, and as what we are seeing currently, the way BJP government is going from village to village, and they are getting in touch with the subcastes, which again is against the idea of a Dalit identity. Is it not going to be a very difficult task for Congress to reach out to the Dalits when a scenario like this is emerging?
The task is challenging. I wouldn't say it is difficult, because ultimately, end of the day, what you deliver to the Dalits in terms of bringing transformation in their lives, that is what is going to count. It is in this regard, it is only the Congress party which has been able to deliver that kind of a transformation in tangible terms, whereas BJP is only playing with the numbers, is only playing with certain false promises, doing a lot of tokenism, never been able to put in place so far a policy, a legislative paradigm to really promote that kind of empowerment Dalits are looking forward to.
So how is Congress evoking that hope within the Dalits or the tribals, that look, this is the party which is going to hold the mirror to the society? How will you convince the Dalits?
In many ways, wherever we are in power, we are demonstrating as how our policies and programs are really transforming the lives of the Dalits. So wherever Congress party is in power, we are making sure that we invest very heavily on the education of Dalits, on providing jobs to Dalits, improving their localities, providing them better living conditions. That we are able to clearly show. If you look at the kind of investments that are happening on the Dalits in the Congress ruled states, you find marked difference when compared to BJP ruled states. For example, if I were to take one simple example of Karnataka government.
Right.
Karnataka government has brought in a legislation called Scheduled Caste Subplan, Tribal Subplan legislation, which guarantees that certain portion of the budget allocations are earmarked for the development of Dalits, so that the development of Dalits is accelerated, so that the gaps between the Dalits and rest of the communities are bridged So the investments on Dalit development in the state of Karnataka during the last 4 years has gone up by 400% as on today. Similarly in other states also. So number one, by demonstrating our commitment in terms of properly planned and implemented policies and programs, we are able to win the confidence. Number two, wherever we are not in power, we are very clear that we would like to connect to every Dalit household by reaching out to them, by doing a house-to-house campaign to tell them what has been the history of the Congress party, what has been our partnership with Dalits in the past, and how in future also we stand by their cause. So by touching them at that level, we are hopeful of winning their confidence.
But despite the funds which you are saying, like for example, Karnataka government has earmarked the funds through the SC/ST sub-plan, and there has been a lot of criticism the way Centre has slashed these funds.
Correct.
There has been a lot of criticism on that as well. But these untouchables, the so-called untouchables, they are being wooed by BJP and the so-called parties through the subcaste lines. How are you going to counter this undercurrent of the society? How will you do that? How will a party like Congress do that?
Yeah, if you see the track record of BJP during the last 3 years, they have literally demolished the welfare architecture that was put in place. That is primarily to ensure sustainable development of Dalits. That entire welfare architecture has been demolished. The funds to the scholarships have come down. They have by and large done away with the scheduled caste sub-plan and tribal sub-plan. They have also by and large given up mandatory coverage of SC/STs in various programs. That is no more talked about. So Dalits are feeling the pinch of these things.
But when you speak to a BJP minister, they always say that they believe in one policy, and that is Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, and they will they don't want the people to stand with their arms open and beg for anything. They will enable their empowerment. So how would you counter this?
In fact, enabling their empowerment is something that it was Congress party which has done it through rights-based approach to development during the 10-year rule of the UPA. It was the primary aim of that rights-based development, wherein the Congress government, the UPA government have come up with so many programs, legislations, whether it is right to education, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, then National Rural Health Mission. All these things have believed in giving some rights to the marginalized sections, not throwing some doles to them. So it was Congress party which has actually initiated, effectively implemented this rights-based approach, which believed in giving some rights to the people and enabling them to demand those rights and then improve their conditions.
But
so
now that
Congress party has demonstrated that. Now they are only talking of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, but in effect, when it comes to Dalits, there is hardly anything happening.
But there was a time when Congress believed in making a rainbow alliance through all the social classes. So is the party reinventing in itself in this direction completely?
The Congress party is one party in the country which is concerned with all sections of the society. That is where the party's history also has shown as how party got connected with all the communities. That is where the communal harmony will be there, and then that's how the country also can be developed. We always believed in this kind of a coalition with all the communities, not talking in terms of one community against other community.
But if you look at the 80s era when Bahujan Samaj Party was formed at that point of time, the party came up, they captured political power, but somehow their cause was completely lost as soon as they assumed the political power, because we saw varying agendas of EBCs, OBCs, lower caste Muslims, upper caste Muslims. So how does a party like Congress unify all these agendas and bring together these varied groups on one platform?
Yeah, I think Congress party agenda has never been only to come to power. We were very clear that the political power should be used meaningfully to bring in transformation in the lives of the Dalits. That is how the Congress party has invested in promoting the Dalit leadership. You would find how Congress party put in place Dalit leaders at various positions, whether chief ministers or at the center as ministers and in various other places. Similarly, Congress party believed in investing in the policies. That is where I don't think that today, other than the Congress party, there is no other party which has believed in coming up with the proper policies, programs and legislations which will really accelerate the development
But
of Dalits.
despite all these programs which you're saying that Congress party initiated, why did Congress lose ground against the narrative of the so-called Dalit parties? Because in the last one decade or so, we saw that Congress completely lost the ground as far as Dalit politics is concerned.
I wouldn't say that Congress lost the ground. It is only one or two states where large number of Dalits have drifted away from the Congress party. But in other states, if you see the Congress vote, most of the Congress vote actually comes from the SC, STs in other states. So it is too much of a generalization to say Dalits across the country have drifted away from the Congress party. In one or two states it has happened. In other states, Dalits still have confidence of Congress party and it is being expressed in their vote preference also.
Okay.
But what is true is that unlike in the past, not every Dalit is today voting for the Congress party. That is the fact. That is something that one need not be surprised, because that is evolutionary process. New generation comes, their aspirations, they would like to really test the other parties. That is what is really happening. But at a global level, I would say even now, India as a whole, most of the Dalits are still voting for Congress party.
But post Rohit Vemula's institutional murder incident which happened, we saw that the Dalits and the leftist forces came together.
Yeah.
But that force didn't last for long. So is Congress going to become a platform where it is going to bring these kind of forces together and probably they will give a forward movement to the Dalit politics?
Yeah, that is one of our strategies. In fact, Rohit Vemula's incident has taught us as how in the universities it is necessary for us to talk in terms of the Dalit students, their rights, the kind of aspirations they have. That is where our alliance with the left parties is important. So we are working on those lines.
Okay. Now coming to the presidential election 2017, we've seen that it's a Dalit versus Dalit contest. But a large section of the society, there's a criticism which is coming that it's a highly casteist narrative which is playing out at the highest office of the country. What is your take on that?
I think that is how people are seeing through their caste lenses. But to be fair to the contesting candidates, whether it is Sri Kovind or Meera Kumar, never in their speeches, never in their appeal, they have invoked the caste question. So I don't think that these two people are fighting on the caste card. In fact, Meera Kumar has gone on record saying that this is not the fight between two subcastes within the scheduled caste. It is a fight between two ideologies. One ideology which believed in perpetuating the caste hierarchies, one ideology which believed in perpetuating the dominance of upper caste, against the Congress ideology which actually believed in annihilation of caste, which believed in securing empowerment of the weaker sections. So Meera Kumarji has made it very clear this is a fight between the ideology. But unfortunately, it is a different matter that some people through their caste lenses may like to see it as caste coming into picture in the highest office selection.
So whom do you blame for this narrative? Is it the media or is it?
It is a society. It is a society. Society is caste ridden, so naturally the narratives also would become that. Unless there's a change in the society, unless they stop seeing everything through caste lens, we will continue to have these kind of problems.
In one section of the society says that there has been a lot of resentment against the Dalits as far as the present government is concerned. They haven't been too much bothered about the Dalits'
Yes.
welfare.
Yeah.
That is one criticism which is is coming.
Mm-hmm.
So in that kind of a scenario, how is Congress going to position itself, especially as you yourself said that it's not going to be a very easy task reaching out to all the forces, and especially when the current government is reaching out to the subcastes. So it's really ironical because Ambedkarite idea of the Dalit identity is very different from the one which is being practiced currently.
That's where our Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi ji is very clear. He has been espousing four-pronged strategy to address this challenge. One, he believes that Congress party has to invest more in promoting the Dalit leaders. He also defined who is a Dalit leader. Dalit leader is one who promotes 100 other Dalit leaders. So that kind of a investment in promoting large number of the Dalit leaders at all levels. Fortunately, because of reservations in the local body elections for the SC, STs, OBCs, there is a space for them. There is a space for them in the legislative assemblies and parliament. By identifying right candidates, by sending Dalit leaders who can really connect with the rest of the communities and then fight for their cause. That means by promoting right kind of Dalit leaders, we are serving the Dalit cause. Second important strategy is to strengthen the voice of Dalits within the Congress party. How do we strengthen the voice? By enhancing their participation in the party, by enhancing their representation in the leadership positions at various levels.
So has this reinvention process already begun within the party?
Already started in various states.
Okay.
You will find large number of Dalit leaders are promoted. Their voice is becoming stronger. Congress party as a whole is taking up the Dalit cause. And thirdly, the party has to be clear about what kind of a policy that we have to be put in place. That is where an international conference that is happening called Reclaiming Social Justice, Revisiting Ambedkar is all about. It is coming together of progressive forces to reflect on what has happened so far, what are the issues concerning social inequities in the society, and what are the challenges, what is the kind of a new deal that we have to come up with for the people of India and Dalits particularly. That is what this conference that is going to happen.
So if I could ask you my final question, that does the country need a politics of identity or does it need a politics of ideology? How does one see it?
I think politics of identity would serve the political purpose of a particular political party to come to the power. That doesn't bring any transformation in the lives of the people. Whereas politics of ideology would essentially bring in transformation in the lives of the people. That is what Congress party has always believed in. Congress party always emphasized politics of ideology. It has always opposed politics of identity and it will continue to oppose.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Raju.
Thank you.
So that's it on this episode of To The Point. See you next time with another personality. Goodbye and thanks for watching.